So we're going to have a quick look at some random issues now. I'm still not sharing my screen, so let me do that. This is something that I used to do when I was new to contributing to the GitLab project. I don't know if I can quite call it triaging, but I used to just look at really old issues to see whether they were in fact still issues. Had the functionality that people were asking for being delivered, had the bugs been fixed, and what was the other thing I'd sometimes look at the really popular, the ones that had lots of upvotes, because, again, if it was something that I felt capable of doing, it would feel very rewarding. Yes, I've got a big ego potentially if I was able to deliver something that lots of people have voted for. So maybe we'll do the popularity first, and we'll just have a kind of look at a few of the top ones, as much out of interest than anything. And then, maybe we'll look at some of the really old ones as well, albeit that, surprise, surprise, the old ones happen to coincide with the more popular ones as well. Report number of lines per language in repository charts. So I'm guessing that a bunch of work has already happened to kind of look at how complex that is. I have no idea how the code already, because it does it based on number of files at the moment, I guess. But I'm too scared to even look at something with a complexity of 8 at the moment. In the what's the word? In the preference of speed, and kind of just whizzing through a few, and kind of going from there. So runner priority. Maybe we can help by improving the title of this one, albeit that I realise community contributors wouldn't have that permission, but they could ping an MR coach or the core team or somebody to do it on their behalf.
Yeah.
It would be great to see the ability to define runner priority orders in the GitLab runner interface. You have multiple runners with the tag iOS, but if a certain runner is available, you want it to run on that one first. Maybe because the runner has better hardware, others are spares. So I feel like this would be quite complex as well.
Yeah.
Because how would you... Because the way they work, if I understand it correctly, is that it's a pull rather than a push. So it was kind of, I presume it's kind of a round robin type thing, if that's the correct terminology, where, you got 3 runners and it's just the first one to grab something from the pool of jobs that are waiting to be processed that gets it. So I have no idea. I'm guessing there's been some discussion on it, but I don't want to get pulled too far.
It's also some recent merge requests.
Oh, good spot.
15.2.
So maybe it is something that's so it's difficult to adapt the number of jobs depending on job and use. Okay. Make job age. It's interesting that they're referencing this, because time-based runner prior. Yeah, they don't sound massively related.
Yeah.
I suppose maybe that is one way. I see the one about age. Maybe if you were to sort of say that your priority 1 runner would pick everything up, but your priority 2 runner would only pick something up if it had been sitting there for more than like half an hour or 2 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, makes sense.
But what's the most recent discussion?
Oh, 1 month.
Oh, how funny is that? That pretty much what I just said is what this is about. That we could use the interval, so you would check more frequently on the higher priority runners and less frequently on the lower priority ones.
Yeah.
when you now use a costly cloud resource for checking over 60 seconds, it's doing nothing. Checkout is not a solution. Okay. And there's push jobs, not put. And that's the first comment I made as well. Wow. That's funny.
You already read this before.
Yeah, I cheated. No. Genuinely, my brain obviously works the same as Michael's. I really like it. Age of sorry, lower. God, age of job. Also found and already tried this approach. Last time I tried to implement it on the runner side, but due to how the API works filter. Server side. Second time I added priority to a runner object, added filtering a job by age. The problem was that due to CI job caching, actually need to filter jobs not only on the Ruby side but on the workloads too. I'm no more interested in this feature. Okay, so I'm just gonna see if run a priority. Maybe that is enough. If I was to change it, I'd probably just sort of say add support for runner priorities or something like that. Because this, I wasn't even sure, it might be a feature that already exists and there was a bug with it, or we wanted to change the way it works or something like that.
Allow configuring runner priority. Maybe GitLab runner priority. I don't know if there are different types of runners.
No, I don't think so. I don't know that I want to dive into these MRs. How are we doing? I'm tempted, but no. Let's. The more we can look at, the better. But that's a really interesting one.
Yeah.
So change default target branch for merge requests. All merge requests should be made against. This is really interesting because this is something that we actually do by using a bot here.
Oh, I just changed the default branch to develop.
Right. Does that mean that the README pulls from develop and some other things like so when you pull, okay.
This sounds awkward.
Elaborate, Andrew. I haven't read this bit, but please share your.
Just the concept in general to me seems kind of clunky, because they're saying they want to configure the default branch for merge requests to be develop, but the default branch for viewing the repository to be master.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is going to be like, to me that would be confusing then when I go to create. If I'm going to a repository and seeing that master is the default branch that's presented to me, when I then go and create a merge request and it's pointing to a different branch, that would seem disconnected.
I think that's because you don't use the Git flow methodology potentially.
No, I do.
Oh, you do?
Yes,
Interesting.
we have our like we would never want to use master for the default repository view. Like we use develop for everything. Master's only what's in production.
That's interesting because I was thinking the opposite, that you didn't want to target the default branch for merge requests to be developed, but it's actually the opposite, that you don't really want master to be the default. Yeah, that's interesting. So that's a good question.
Nobody cares about master because everything's in develop. Master's only what's master's like it's obviously the important one because that's what's running in production, but like developers, engineers don't really care what's on there.
No, you're right. You would never, or personally, I would never really want to clone the master branch. The network graph, I'm not sure about. That's this pretty thing, right? Which is going to look absolutely horrendous, I presume, for the GitLab project.
Oh,
Is this what that's referring to?
Yeah.
By the network graph. Again, I don't know how. If it's not even going to render, then.
no, it's gonna take a while.
We could use one of our projects, couldn't we? Core template. Where is it? Oh.
Oh,
It must be called something slightly different.
oh,
It's not got the word core in there. Typical. So yeah, let's have a quick look at this. So graph. So main's on the right. Is that what they're saying? Yeah, master is on the far right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a minor inconvenience, but you're right, Andrew. I'd never even thought about changing. Just go change the default branch, because actually develops what's eventually going to make it into master, right? Essentially,
it is. And why would you want to show the master README? Because develop will be the most up to date README.
yeah.
Yeah. So what we're more interested in is not what the issues are with making master the default, but what are the issues with making develop the default.
So I guess that they were experiencing a problem that I also found when I started first using GitLab with issues, because the create merge request button, it used to create the branch and the EMR directly from the new branch to the default branch. And that's still the case. If you wanted to use a different source branch, you had to use the little drop down button and change the source. But now when you click create merge request, it actually opens up a page in which you can actually change the branch. It's not solving the problem, but it's a bit more usable.
Yeah, I dislike that change. It's a problem when you get a project this big. Any change is going to annoy somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deploying the project to Git clone requires an additional. Oh, I see what they're saying. So okay. So I hadn't even thought.
Yeah, that sounds like a minor thing, because if you're deploying it, it's going to be automated. And does it matter if you have to? I mean, actually, no, you don't even have to. You just do git clone -b master.
Minor details.
I'm thinking, yeah. I can sort of understand that one a bit more, actually, although I have no idea of the exact sort of solution. But if we had some kind of script in play, you're right, you can just add something on, but it kind of makes sense that the main or master or the primary or the default is actually the production, the master production, whatever you want to. I guess it's the terminology thing, right? That default, what does it actually mean? That's why we've got names on the branches, right? And master doesn't really mean master, does it? Does it mean production? Is that fair to say, or
In
Yeah.
most cases.
yeah?
Yeah, we're in the process of changing our Git branching slightly.
Okay,
Um,
so that one sounds like I don't know what the word is, but it's more that we can't come up with a solution, not technically, but we literally can't come up with a.
See, yeah, a lot of people are really interested in it, though. I mean, it's the second, third popular one.
Whoops. Yeah.
I don't understand it. Maybe we should read some comments about why people want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna take a while. There are quite a few.
Well, I'm more interested to know if anyone's come up with any potential sort of.
Solution.
Yeah. What is this kind of suggesting that we have a default branch for the repository view and for cloning and we literally just have a separate default for. I guess that is exactly what it's suggesting, isn't it?
Yeah, only for merge request change the default branch.
Yeah, so they
Yeah, I
have
guess
got
the
a.
title's slightly incorrect because you do have a default target branch for merge requests. What they're asking for are multiple default branches based on like use case, I guess.
No, I think they're saying independently be able to change the target branch for
Yeah.
merge requests outside of the default branch for everything else, right?
Yeah, well, you actually have a similar thing for forks in which you can change the default target, not the branch, but the default repository target of the EMR. Because on a fork, by default, it's going to target the upstream branch, upstream repository, but you can change it to default to something else, for example, for the fork itself.
Wait, how would that even that? Sorry, I'm thinking about Git itself. I don't think Git even supports that. Like, you can only have a single default branch.
Yeah. But I guess it's only a front end thing.
Yes, that's what I had in my head. That all this is suggesting is when you go. I don't know where to recreate it now, but yeah, when you go to the create new merge request page, this one, I guess, that the default value. Don't tell me this is gonna explode as well. Wow, doesn't like being watched. The system. This is all I think that really the primary focus is.
Yeah.
Oh, so you would configure Git. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
That's even funnier because this is exactly what we've done with our bot. We've actually got like a would I call it chain of command, like a hierarchy that sort of says if it's a feature branch, target develop. If it's the develop branch, target test. If it's a test branch, target master. So it's sort of a chain that we follow before we hit production. But iteration and all that, the simple first step would just be. But yeah, what I guess I'm interested to know is, have product said no, we don't want to do this, or is it just that nobody's picked it because it hasn't got the accepting merge requests?
I was going to say, when you were scrolling through 8 months ago, they said they're not going to pick it up. I don't know if that's ever or
But is that because they don't want it done, or just because they don't want to pick it up?
Scroll up a little bit. It did have the accepting merge request label on. It looks like it's been removed.
Yeah,
it was.
Okay, here we go. We need this. Says no. You can always click that button if you really need it. That button. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's saying it's already got that label.
And then it got
right.
removed.
So this is what I was saying. Like Kai's the PM, so he's the one that's going to say if we genuinely don't want this.
Yeah.
So, but he removed it without any comment, which isn't overly helpful, unless the comment was a reply to a thread somewhere further up.
Can you search for his name? There you go. This is no plans to implement it.
Yeah, but hasn't said anything about. Again, we'll just ask if we can't find anything.
I'll scroll up a bit. He added it to another issue.
Yeah.
Change.
Oh,
all right. That's
not hugely. Let's just call him out then.
Well, it was 3 weeks ago, and there were new updates.
They hate me because I've already working on a contentious merge request in this area anyway.
Oh, you're talking about Pluto,
select bonus.
I am, yeah.
You can submit the whole community of contributors to tackle this.
Yeah. That there's nothing else to add. That's sufficient, right? We just want to know whether it's something that we don't want or.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Markdown pages export as PDF. That sounds like something pretty cool as well, I guess.
Yeah, I tried.
Go on.
I actually searched for something like this in the past.
Like a gem or something to be able to.
Yeah.
Be quite handy for us as well because we like our documentation is all like in markdown files, and it'd be handy to send to customers, and that's exactly what this just says, right?
The second paragraph, the first sentence.
That's the best markdown viewer ever.
So I get confused. Or not, I don't get confused. These kind of things, I always think, is it not just easier to print to PDF?
How do you mean? Sorry.
Well, like you can just when you're viewing a markdown file, you could just print. Oh, actually, no. On.
Oh, you mean like Control P, print
to
save as PDF.
Save as PDF, yeah.
Yeah, but it would print the whole page.
Yeah, I guess adding.
You've got to set all your settings as well, right? Do you want the URL in the header and the footer, and I guess there's a whole bunch of stuff that. So yeah, sorry, what were we saying here? My initial take was simply create an endpoint that rendered our markdown in a stripped down container. Then so grab the page. Okay, so saying the first step would be kind of what you said, Andrew, to rather than rendering the markdown file with all this GitLab navigation, sidebar, etc., just to render it on its own with none of the stuff around it, and then someone could actually print that to PDF or something. Seem to work. However, images are not being rendered.
No, yeah.
Turns out we use JavaScript quite a bit. Right. Okay. So it's rendering of the Markdown is done using client-side code, not server-side code, which is a massive, massive issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was an out-of-the-box Markdown, that not, what was it called? GLFM, GitLab. If it wasn't GitLab flavored Markdown, we could. I'm guessing there's something off the shelf.
Yeah, I ended up using a converter I found online, but it was only understanding simple Markdown, not the one from GitLab.
A subset of Markdown. I'm guessing this is similar to what you were saying there.
Yeah.
This is where I think print to PDF just wins out, because it's already rendering it as HTML with support for everything. You don't need any back-end processes to generate these PDFs or anything. You just press Control P.
Do they elaborate more on why we kind of want it to be more of a automated thing?
I think what similar to how we've got plain equals 1 when you view a Markdown file now. I think print equals 1 would be good, and it just renders the Markdown file.
Yeah, we could even launch window.print, couldn't we?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but that would print the whole window, so also the sidebar and everything.
No. So if we did what Brett suggested, so we basically create a container, he referred to it as, but yeah, essentially we have something that's massively slimmed down that just shows the
only showing the Markdown.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's even an amusing way to do it with CSS, like to literally override everything and set it to display none, except if it's a child of.
That's what his first comments there. He wants to look going more than just print styles, and I'm not sure why. Because doing print styles, you could hide like everything except just the Markdown container, I guess.
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't even need to have a special view, because when you Control P, it would actually
hide everything else.
Yeah. Let's just pick this one. So yeah, if I was interested, but yeah, you're right. That's exactly what print.
So if you actually print this page now, they already have a bunch of print styles.
Is that something you can select somewhere, or?
I don't believe so. So you can see it's rendering it as a single page without all of the chrome around it.
Yeah.
And it does have the very header at the top. So the boring solution would be to just improve this, in my opinion.
Well, this is actually
pretty much bang on, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
The only bit that you might not want to see is this at the top, really.
And maybe if you scroll down, the content of the code is getting cut.
Oh yeah. I think I know what you mean. Yeah, scroll bars. Damn.
Yeah, scroll bars on prints aren't that useful. Well, you can always print it landscape.
Yeah, because I think that could be resolved with word wrap or something.
Yeah. So they've already kind of it works pretty well. I wonder if that's been improved a lot sort of since a lot of the discussion on this.
Yeah, might be.
Is there a way to view the print version in developer tools?
Well, there's a question.
If there isn't, there should be.
Chrome developer tools print. Oh.
Oh.
If you don't have the weird special bottom area thing, press the escape key. Select the rendering tab. Scroll down to rendering tab options. Is that one of these? Not quite sure where it was saying to go there. If you don't have the weird special bottom area thing, press this. Hit the menu icon to choose tabs to open.
I found it on Firefox.
Don't quite understand the. This one maybe? Aha! Rendering. Print something. Emulation. Print. Woohoo!
I'll have to go in a few minutes.
No worries at all.
Yeah.
It's been super interesting as always. And we've taught ourselves and somebody else how to do print emulation in Chrome. So yeah, I'm just wondering how much this is improved, and if how many of these upvotes essentially are still. What more do people? What more do these 360 people want?
Yeah.
Real challenge when you have a README with hyperlinks to other files, so that it creates a unified. Oh god, yes.
This is even crazier.
That's like printing the whole handbook out or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you should say that, because one of my thoughts was that maybe that they should be using some kind of static site generator to compile whatever it is that they're looking to be compiled. I don't know. It sounds like maybe there are a number of different requirements, but because it's such an old issue. All right. So even if we were able to use some kind of off-the-shelf thing, it sounds like it would suck if it wasn't proper GLFM.
Yeah.
Which requires building something from scratch, I guess.
Or improving the print preview.
Well, I don't know. What I'm reading is that people, like the people that didn't want an API, maybe their requirement has now been satisfied, because I'm assuming that this has improved over the years.
Yeah.
But this is really people that want an API to do it. And yeah, so I'm thinking about, well, what crazy I've never really looked at the code that generates this. Can that easily be? I guess it generates HTML. So making it generate a PDF, I have no idea how that works, and we're not going to dig into that now. But yeah, it was fun, guys. Any final thoughts or discussion before we shoot?
Not really. I guess.
Thanks for your time, then. I think.
No.
Good luck in the hackathon if you're participating.
I guess
Catch you later.
I'll do what I can.
Take care. See you later, guys.
Catch you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.